Hello, good people. Welcome back. Get a lot of emails about challenges of chord changes and how can I get my chord changes faster, and I'm having trouble with certain changes, and what can I do, and I'm frustrated, I'm ready to take this thing. Don't do that. Okay? Basically, what I have found is that make sure when you're doing a certain change that you analyze the change for shared fingers, number one, for clusters, number two, and number three, that you're following the good techniques that we've been working on. By that I mean that your fingers are cupped close to the fretboard, that you're sliding them, you can't get that credit card between there, right? And that you're following all the technique things that we've been working on, okay? You have to be doing that. I spent a lot of time with that in earlier modules to get you in that habit and to build that solid foundation, okay? So, if you're having a problem with a given change, the best way to go about getting better at that, if your technique is correct, is just practice the mechanics of the change, back and forth from one to the next. Let's say you're having trouble with C to D, okay? So you do your C chord, one hit to make sure, one strum down, to make sure you get all the notes to ring out, then go to D, one hit, then back to C, back to D, C, D, and you just keep going back and forth and back and forth, and soon, eventually, you do that change a few minutes a day. Pick up your guitar, just do like 10 C to Ds, back and forth. And then the next day it'll get easier. So make a list of all the chord changes that you're struggling with, okay? C to D, that's on the list, okay? Maybe G to C, that's probably on everybody's list. That's a tough one. So use that 3-finger G we talked about. If you're not sure what I'm talking about here, go to the module previous on, a couple back on the G to C change. And you want to just go back and forth. G to C, G to C. That should be on your list, G to C. So you might have 6 or 7 chord changes on this list that are giving you trouble, right? So spend 3 or 4 minutes of your 10 minutes or 15 minutes every time you pick up the guitar just on changes, and do each one 10 times. Just back and forth, one hit each. Maybe you're struggling with G to A minor. Back and forth, G, A minor. Notice your technique. Slide on the strings, cluster. Okay, your technique has to be pure. So, make your list of your chord changes and do them 10 times a day each, every day, and you'll see, and then once you get one down and it's in your pocket, cross it off the list, because then you're done with it. You'll have it all the time. And all these changes also you're going to be practicing, because they're probably going to be in songs that you're going to be visiting in the video song library and practicing, so you get double practice with them. That's the best way to attack a given change. Let's say you have a song and there's 10 chord changes in the song, okay? And you could do 9 of them. You're stumbling at number 8, the 8th change, which is G to C. All the other changes you got fine. It goes through 10 chords. You're having trouble with this one. Don't keep practicing all 10. Go from the first and all the way through. That's how most people do it. That's a mistake. What they do is they keep practicing it over and over and over and over and over, and eventually they get it. But it takes way too long, because you don't need practice on the other 9 changes. You only need that one change, that G to C. So put a microscope or a telescope to the string of chords, pick out the ones you're having trouble with, write that one down, G to C, that's on your list, along with those other 4 or 5. Then just practice that one. Don't practice the other 9. Those are in your pocket already. You got them down. Practice the one that needs the work. That change. And eventually, do it every day, and it'll get easier and easier and easier, and eventually cross it off the list. You got it, okay? And make that part of your practice regimen. So make these chord changes, the ones you're struggling with. We're up to, right around now, whatever this module is, we might be up to practice routine 3 or practice routine 4. So make sure you add those chord changes that you're struggling with to your practice module, and I want you practicing those changes. I work with my students every day on this, and when I teach privately, and we always write down the changes that they're struggling with, and then they give them extra practice, a couple minutes a day, and then they bang them all out, and I see that list dwindle and dwindle and dwindle and dwindle till it's gone. And that's how you get good at it. Don't just keep practicing long strings of changes, because it's not time efficient. Everybody's busy, right? So we want to get you playing here at the fastest, most efficient way possible. That's what we're all about here at Next Level Guitar. Okay? So take those things into consideration, write them down on your practice routine, keep following the plan we have set up here, and you will get over those. And there's other changes coming up that are going to, a lot of the changes some are easy, some are medium, and some are hard. And the harder ones just take a little bit more work, but we'll help you through them. So stay positive and don't get discouraged. Nobody walks up to a guitar and plays a G to C change right out of the gate. Nobody. All right? I'll see you in the next module.